Hi, this is On Imagination with whatever the fuck this science is, and it's my really weird shit. So I'm analyzing a conundrum that we all, especially if you're in healing, this really is a huge part of this, is it's when you realize that you have to constantly shield and hide yourself, and you have to constantly tiptoe around people before you realize, oh, well, if I don't behave like X, then I'm going to offend this person. And then you do all the work. I mean, you fucking do the work. You realize that you got to be true to yourself, and you isolate yourself. And then when you think, okay, I've got myself, now you're yourself 2.0, right? You get to yourself where you're 2.0, and you get out there and you're like, all right, I'm ready to socialize again. And you start going out there and you accumulate everybody. And you're so thrilled to be like there that you just get out there and you're like, yes, and you're excited. So you got your brand new 2.0 mindset. You're out there and you're finally living true to yourself, and you're on this massive euphoric high, right? You're on cloud nine, and you attract a lot of people like, wow, this person's really energetic. Wow, this person's really amazing. And I talk on ethics, like on all, that's all I do. I talk on ethics. And a lot of people think that ethics means A. And so I'm sitting here going, yeah, this is it right here. But part of ethics is telling the truth. And this is the part of the ethics that no one wants to hear. Ironically, so I will get into this point where, and here's, so that's the first thing is I'm going to cover this. I'm going to cover this. So for the first point, it's part of ethics is telling the truth. The second part of ethics that no one wants to hear is the up and down of human. This is called regulation. It's literally the pendulum. So we're going to call it the humanity pendulum. Now, the humanity pendulum is the pendulum that's not tolerated in society. And when you're authentic and when you are ethical, you follow that pendulum. So if you're having a bad day, you embrace the bad day. And if you are feeling angry, you welcome the anger. This is the 10th ethic, emotional fluidity. So you've got emotional fluidity, and you have telling the truth with logic, which is the 11th ethic. So you're not lying. So when you see somebody who is acting like a fucking dumbass, you say, you know what? You're acting like a fucking dumbass. We all act like a fucking dumbass sometimes, even me. It's part of the human experience. We all have our dumbass moments. We're all stupid sometimes. It's all relativity to something else. Now, then I walk in and I will have these moments, and it's all about, going back and forth and making sure you move with it. And it's accepting yourself in the low moments. It's accepting yourself in the angry moments. This is the ethical living that people don't realize. And then there's the delusion. I'm going to call this the oasis. I fucking hate the oasis. So the oasis delusion, or the mirage, is people who think that you have to be always at your best. That's not going to fucking work, because now you violated the regulation, which is the third ethic. So that's the first thing. Now you have violated the third ethic because you're not regulating. Now you're suppressing. So now you got to be happy all the time. No fucking human being can do this. Okay. This is not human. This is fucking bullshit. This is programming. So now I do my thing. I get on here. And you're right there with me. You're sitting here going, you know what? I'm going to be fucking awesome. And you're at this high because you're finally socializing again. You get out there, you get friends, they come into your life. And then you realize it's ethical to self-regulate. It's ethical to be honest. And it's ethical to do emotional fluidity. So if you see somebody who's being a dumbass, and if you also are emotionally fluidly angry at this, and you also need to self-regulate, which means, well, self-regulation means that you're going to have low times too. You embrace it, because that's the ethics. That's human growth. That's where growth happens. You can't get to the other side of this shit moment without going through the shit. You got to go through the shit. Now, this is like the rule number one of ethical living, is going through the shit. And the ethical person who's the faux ethic, let's call it the faux ethic. The faux ethic person, the oasis delusion, will resist the shit. Well, now you've violated the third ethic, because now you're not self-regulating, you're resisting. And they will deny. So now you're looking at the 11th ethic violation, because they're not telling the truth. And then they'll try and soften the blow. Oh, no, it's all right. It's all right. You're being a dumbass. You're being a dumbass. And everyone does it. Everyone does it. I have my moments of stupid. Everyone does. And If you're not honest with yourself about you're stupid, if you think you're never stupid, then you're a fucking idiot. Oh, I love that. I love that. That needs to be like on a mug somewhere, like my mug. If you, that's it. I need this on a mug. If you think you're never stupid, then you're a fucking idiot. Everyone is stupid. Everyone is stupid sometimes, and everyone is a genius sometimes. It's regulation. So after your massive euphoric high, what goes up must come down, or as Newton liked to say, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So then you crash. Yes, that's Newton. I know you think Newton is Einstein. We have to have a talk. Sorry, you'll get it. You'll get it. Newton is the one who, this is physics. Well, I mean, Einstein was a physicist too, but so you got that self-regulation. Like, it's in the fucking physics. The physics says you have to self-regulate. You can't deny physics. So you get into that real low shit moment. And by this point, the ethical realize, oh, there's nowhere to go. You just got to go through it. So the question now is, well, where the fuck do I direct all of this anger? Where do I direct all of this low point? Where do I direct the frustration? Now, I'm huge on, if you're in a low shit moment, well, this is my job, is teaching people, showing them this is part of it. Ethics is not purity, and it's not fucking righteousness. Get that fucking Christian delusion out of your head. Ethics is not righteousness. It's humanity. I'm going to write that down. Ethics is not righteousness. It's humanity. And this right here is the biggest thing. So I went through this massive high of, oh my God, people, and I was so happy. And then my ugly came out, because you know what? That's the other side of the mirror. We all have two sides of our mirror. All of us do. How good are you at fluctuating beside your mirror? So you get out there, and then your ugly comes out. And then all these righteous people see you're ugly, and they're like, oh, I don't. And then they bail on you. Now we got fair weather friends. And you realize, oh, so immediately my brain, from all of my years of trauma, switches over, and I can feel it switching, that little bitch of my brain. I can feel it switching. And it switches over. Oh, we got to immediately eggshell walk. Oh, fuck that shit. No, you don't. Get your ass out there. There's no eggshell walk in here. That enables their bullshit. So I realize, okay, now I've got more people who are like, oh, well, if you're not going to be pleasant, I don't want that around me. You mean you don't want humanity around you? Now, this is where you do want to kind of, like, you don't want to trauma dump. You don't want to be, and this is it right here. I can't stand pretentious, constant righteousness any more than I can stand constant negative bullshit. I can't stand it. I need the regulation, you know? And this is where, for me, the ethics of that righteous bullshit is as intolerable as constant negativity. I can't stand either one of them. And the problem that I'm running into with the ethical righteous bullshit is it's not real. It's like, really, you never have a low fucking day? The fact that the Dalai Lama, you only see his perfect righteous moments. Oh, that's fucking bullshit. That's not how people are. And you know the Dalai Lama has bad fucking days. He just doesn't show it to you. So now people have this unrealistic expectation because he's lying to us by hiding his bullshit. And now I've got a problem with that, because that's not human. Human is, you're going to have your negativity with your righteous moments, and they're going to balance each other out, because it's all about karma, man. It's about karma. Did I not even eat my avocado toast? Why is my phone ringing? Phones should not ring in my world. Like, no. I just need to not have a phone. One day, I will not have a phone. I want a phone that does only texting. This is going to be a thing. I'm going to invent the only, no, I'm not. I'm going to ask Apple to do that for me. Apple, I want an only texting phone, please. I want a phone that never, cannot, does not ring. That would be great. Oh my God, I would love that. A phone that never rings. All right. So then you level up, and you realize that all the people you've accumulated around you, you're now 3.0. This is infuriating. So now you're 3.0, and you're going, shit. Now you're 3.0, and you're looking at all your 2.0 people, and you're going, well, these are all 2.0 people. Oh, fuck. So now you got all your 2.0 people around you, and you're going, shit. I can't handle these people, because you're a 3.0 now. And this is growth. This is exactly how it is. And the problem is, when you're healing, this is why you should not collect friends prematurely. This is why. Because you're going to get friends here. First, you're going to have to lose everybody. You're going to lose all your 1.0 friends. And then you're going to grow and you're going to get a whole bunch of 2.0 friends. And then you're going to grow and then you're going to lose all your 2.0 friends. And you're going to repeat this. This is the part of healing that no one tells you about. This is the bitch. Is every time you start collecting people, you're going to realize that you're outgrowing your 2.0 friends. You go into your 3.0 and then you're like, all right, now you want to get more friends because you want those 3.0s. And now you're looking back going, oh, well, I don't want the 2.0s. That's not even part, that was like a fraction of me. So I did this I've been through this so many times now that it's predictable. And my problem is I got to this one level where I'm like, oh, this is it. This is absolutely it. And I found out, no, I was not being honest with myself over here. So then I was able to bring it all in. So what's going on really is, how do you know? How do you know when you're done cooking? Well, you're never done cooking. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's the integration of all of you. And this is the hardest part of our brains, is our brains are not taught to integrate. Oh, they're naturally integrate when we're born, but society has, this is what it is. Society disintegrates you. That's all it is. Society will disintegrate you. Society is designed to disintegrate you. So you're born integrating. That's what you do. What, Liz? Yes?
Assigned, design.
Say again?
Assigned and design. Design. Assign.
Oh, she found another word. Assign and design. Yeah, there's definitely relatability in there. I'd have to break down the etymology. So society will disintegrate you. And then it teaches you to disintegrate you your whole life. So now you've got disintegration programming. This is a real thing. This is disintegration programming in your brain now. And the disintegration program is really what you're up against. When you are healing, what you're really doing is you are reversing the disintegration programming in your brain to start integrating. I had multiple personality disorder. Let me show you what this means. It means if you were to look at a ledger line, I was -4. That's what it means. You're supposed to be, well, if you're 30, you're supposed to be at the 30 line. And if you're 45, you're supposed to be at the 45 line. Most of us are stuck at 4. Most of us are stuck at 2. I was at -4 because I had literally -4 disintegration. So when I integrated to get myself to where, well, to non-multiples were, that's my 0. And then I went, well, I just integrated 4 times. There's more here. And then I integrated again and went, there's more here. And it's infinite. The integration is infinite. And I had to teach my brain how to integrate. And that's really, really what all of this comes down to, is you have to teach your brain to integrate. And it's literally the reverse of disintegration. Now, we are taught that A doesn't go with B. And this is the problem. This is actually prejudice. And this took me a very long time to learn, because I was taught by the disintegration culture that what I thought was a dichotomy was, or what was it? The word was dichotomy, and the other word that I was told it was contrast. So I was taught that dichotomy and contrast were normal and intolerable. Dichotomy and contrast, the way society is actually using it, is prejudice. That's really what that is. When you are prejudiced, yes, Liz?
In art, the contrast of your colors.
Yes.
Black and white.
Yes, it's black and white contrast. Yes. Yes.
Black and white thinking.
Black and white thinking. You got it. Yes, it's contrast. Yes, it's contrast thinking. And we're taught, oh, well, this is the way it is. You can't have black. You have to have white. You can't have white. You have to have black. It's prejudice. That's what it is. It's prejudice. It's disintegration thinking, because you're breaking down from integration into parts, into components. And then you break it down even further to the point where you're not even the right shade of white among white people. And apparently that's also a thing among black people, if you have to be the right shade of black with black people. It's the same fucking shit. So when you realize that you're disintegrating and you need to integrate, what you're really up against when you decide that you want to heal is you have to reverse the disintegration, the societal disintegration, and you have to integrate yourself. Now, this is where you're going to feel that civil war really kick in, because the Civil War is that it's an internal civil war where you're conflicted with yourself. And this is like the bane of my existence, because I've got this BDSM mistress inside of me, and I've got a nerd inside of me. Oh, I'm totally a fucking hippie also. And I'm also this highly ethical, truth obsessive Ashavana. And then there's the people who are like, oh, well, if you're Zen, then you're peaceful all the time. That's fucking bullshit. That's not human. That's not integration. There is a chaos inside of you and an order. This is human. You're going to have a creator inside of you and a destroyer. That's my BDSM side, is a destroyer, I just got to say. So if you do not allow for this contrast, for this dichotomy inside of you, then you're not going to be okay. This is regulation. This is self-regulation. So if you can't self-regulate, what's really going on with you is you're at war with yourself and you're feeling like you have to choose. So you'll indulge over here, avoid that because you think it's bad, and then you just can't take it anymore, and then you binge and you purge. And then you're back over here again. And the problem is now you're pitted against each other. But this is really it, is we've lost humanity. We are really fucking way off in left field on what humanity really is. And it's because of this pretentious, righteous bullshit. So I've got people who are always striving to be good, always striving to be ethical, always striving to be constantly good for humanity and good. And they will completely suppress their shadow self. Fuck that shit. The shadow self is part of you. You're going to be a fucking asshole sometimes. And it's okay. You want to be an ethical asshole. That's really what you want to do. You want to be an ethical asshole. And that's it right there. Being an ethical asshole is everything. I'm going to tell you about my mom. I love my fucking mother. I love her to pieces. She knows she's not perfect. I know she's not perfect. I'm not perfect. She knows I'm not perfect. And I just got off of phone conversation with my mom. And I was able to sit here and just scream at her. I mean, I screamed at her. Now, mind you, her sister just passed away. And she just called me up to tell me that her aunt just passed away. And I did the whole empathetic thing. Yes. 3 days apart. This is normal with my family. This is normal with my family. It's normal for my family. This is normal. I don't feel death anymore. I don't. I'm so fucking immune to death. I was immune to death by the time I was 10 years old. So death to me is like, yeah, okay. I feel nothing when it comes to death. And I did the whole, how are you doing? And, and it did something inside of me that just completely, I think it's because I'm starting to see people dying. Oh, that's what this is. I have really unresolved issues with death, a lot of unresolved issues. I can't say I have unresolved issues. I've resolved a lot of the issues, but every time I approach death, it really makes me angry because death is unnatural. That's what a lot of people don't know. Once you get into the science, you realize, wait a minute, this is an anomaly. Yeah, death is an anomaly. It's not supposed to happen. It's unnatural to happen. And scientists are going, what the fuck? That's why they're trying to cure disease, is because it's an anomaly. It's not supposed to be there. It's like people are so like, oh yeah, we die. No, you don't. You're not supposed to. That's why like Adam lived till like he was 900 years old. Like scientists know that death is not supposed to happen. It's unnatural. So every time I hear about death happening, it's, well, that's because someone's education didn't get right. So somebody's mental health didn't get right. So somebody's apoptosis happened. So somebody's brain started to deteriorate. So someone ended up getting a heart attack or a disease or something because apoptosis happened, because they didn't take care of their mental health, because they didn't get the right education. So they died because they're stupid. Education, stupidity literally kills you. Stupid will kill you. It's called Darwinism. That's why only the genius live. That's why only the really fucking intelligent live on, which is why when you look at the people who are really happy, they're also really wise, which is why when you look at the people who did live for like 1,000 years in the Bible, those are people who literally had great wisdom for 1,000 years. The wisdom and the genius don't die because their brains are working, because they got epiphanies happening, because they don't have apoptosis happening. So, and scientists know this, which is why scientists are like pursuing it more than ever. Which is why some people are getting smarter, so they're living longer. This is why. Like the correlation between you're uneducated, therefore you're mentally ill, therefore you're going to die. You're educated, therefore you're not mentally ill, so therefore you could see it. So every time I hear about someone dying, first first, I have a whole, like, an old thing with death. But then the flip side of all of that is like, it's not natural. And it's frustrating for me. So all of that flipped around. I just snapped. And I just started screaming at my mother about how frustrated I feel and I'm sad. And this is probably because I'm projecting the lack of the fact that I had 2 family members die in the last few days. And I just lost it. Maybe that's just my problem. Maybe that's just my problem. So I got angry. And I started telling my mother how much I hate the world and how much I hate my parenting and how much my mother fucking sucked. And my mother just sat there and listened. And I just sat there and screamed about how much I fucking hate my parents. And then in the middle of it, I said, Mom, I love you. You really are a fucking great mom. And she's like, I know you just got to say whatever you need to say, and it's okay. And my mom gives me the psychological safe place that I can just rip into her. And I think this is really it, is we have no fucking idea what humanity is. We really don't. And when I sat down and I analyzed ethics, when I analyzed all of this, it was a massive realization that humanity is the anger and the stupid and the asshole and the genius. It's all of it. It's the wide variety of all of it. It's our ability to move and adapt and regulate all of this. And there's a lot that's to being fucking human. There's so much that is there for being fucking human. But instead of being human, we've got this stupid prejudice bullshit in our heads that tells us, oh, we have to be this cocktail over here, and then we have to reject everything over there. The thing is, and this is what I've learned from all of science and all of everything. This is it. When I was done studying all of everything, maybe that's it. The science of all of everything. Maybe that is what the science is. The all of everything. You know, it's a really fucking good name for this. When I got done studying the all of everything, this is what I learned from this. We are 100% all of everything. It is not possible to hate one thing without hating yourself. It's not possible. It's not possible. It is not fucking possible. If you hate something, that is the part of you that you hate. You cannot hate something and not have it inside of you. You can't. Every fucking thing in the world that you hate, it's inside of you. The components are there. You are it sometimes. So every time I hear someone hate something else, they're actually hating a part of themselves. And there's all of this stuff that's natural, and there's all of this stuff that's not natural. And people are confused what parts are natural and what parts are unnatural. So there's a whole lot of people with a lot of unnatural inside of them that they love. And then there's a whole lot of people with a whole lot of natural that they hate. And they're confused. So now when you hate the natural, you're actually hating on part of yourself. But people can't even sort out the natural from the unnatural. And there are unrealistic expectations. And this is it right here, is you've got unrealistic expectations of humanity. You're going to fail. You're going to fail because of these unrealistic expectations of humanity. It guarantees your failure. And this is really what you've got to work out, is if until you understand this, you're fucked. That there are unrealistic expectations of humanity that society has placed on you. And they have guaranteed your failure. Because you're going to have to reject your own humanity in order to function. And if you reject your own humanity, you are going to hate yourself. Now you're going to have a civil war, a civil divide. You're going to. And when you do that, now you're going to disintegrate. And this is it. So you've got people who are out there. You're trying to heal. And you're trying to get this integrated part into you, but you're taught to reject your own humanity. The hardest thing that I had to figure out was how the fuck a leather BDSM mistress was going to work things out with a vegetarian hippie. You have no idea. I had to figure out how to work out a conservative monogamous person with a bisexual polyamorous person. And I had to sit down with all of me and have meetings. Oh, we did. We had many meetings where we analyzed how to work out a teammanship between all of us so that no one was doing something that somebody else wasn't going to be ethically okay with. So I'm a vegetarian who wears a leather jacket. I have to be. Yeah, it's fucking weird. I have to be. So that when I hear people who are who are vegan, who are absolutely, I get it. And I have to preserve that part of me. So now I'm conflicted because I'm going, well, now what the fuck do I do? Oh, believe me, it's this thing in my brain. How to be ethical while not violating all your ethics ethically and at the same time. And this is the truth about humanity. There's a part of me that every now and then goes, oh my God, I want a burger. And then there's another part of my brain going, oh my God, the cannibalism. And then I can't. And the cannibalism always wins over. I'm like, no, I can't eat flesh. That is I'm not mentally okay if I put flesh in my mouth. I'm not. And this is where this is fucking hard because our society has turned the self against the self. And if you don't understand that that's what you're up against, you're fucked. Because you can't get serious about your healing until you understand that our society is designed for you to hate yourself. Learn that. Learn it good. Because if you don't call if you don't give it its true name, you're never going to get through this. And the very first thing you've got to learn about your healing is you've got to say the name. You've got to speak the truth. Because as soon as you speak the truth, you've got awareness. And this is where all the dumb people are going, oh, awareness is the first step. No, it's not. You have known nothing about chain reaction science. Awareness is not the first step. Awareness is the third step in a sequence. The first step is education. The second step is truth and name. The third step is awareness. So while you guys are all running around on the internet looking for awareness, I'm telling you right now, you're looking at the wrong thing. You got the wrong name. You said the wrong name. So now you're on the red herring. You're all looking for awareness without having any idea how to get awareness because you got it out of sequence. Awareness is not stage 1. It's stage 3. This is why sequence matters. Education is number 1. Name and truth is number 2. Number 3 is awareness. Awareness is a consequence. So what you're really dealing with is you've got a place designed to pit the self against the self. And that's really what you're dealing with. Is you've been groomed to hate who you are. And there's just nothing about it. Do you know what happens to the brain when it decides it's going to hate itself? Oh, come on, this is science fiction. We call that the self-destruct button. But that's exactly what we call it. You literally have a self-destruct button. It's when self-preservation, the very thing that is designed to protect the identity, destroys the identity. So you have a self-preservation system that turns on its own self. So you have a self-destruct button. And that self-destruct button goes off at 2 to 3 years old when you use the word no. Or it goes off before then when you're told you cannot indulge. Or it goes off after that when you're told you have to indulge in something you don't want to indulge in. So either it goes off with forced indulgence, it goes off with denied indulgence, or it goes off with the word no. Those are your options. That's what mom and dad did to you. You have forced indulgence. Well, now you're going to have an indulgence problem where you're going to seriously go out of your way to just devour. You are really going to become a risk taker. You're going to indulge on everything. You're going to have control. You're going to be a control seeker. If you were denied indulgence, you're going to develop addiction. And if you were told no, oh, you're going to develop this massive amount of narcissism where you're going to become the boss because no one will ever tell you no ever again. Oh, look at that. That's the three categories of our society. Risk takers, addicts. I hate the word addicts. It's so dirty to me. You have people who take risks, people who struggle with addiction, and narcissist assholes. Right there, there's your entire society. Were you forced an indulgence? Were you denied an indulgence? Or were you told no? Or were you punished for no? Like, that's all of our society right there. Those three stupid little pieces. But our consent was violated, our consent was violated, our consent was violated. Or you were not allowed to learn when and where you needed to learn. Either you were prematurely forced to indulge something that you weren't ready for, or you wanted to indulge on something and they did not allow you to do it. You can have both at the same time. So as soon as this ratio happens between the ages of 1 and 3 years old, your self-destruct button becomes activated. And as soon as your self-destruct button becomes activated, you turn on the self and your self starts to eat yourself away. So now the self begins a disintegration process. Here's the problem. You are 2 and 3 years old. You are supposed to be integrating. You never got to integrate. You're disintegrating. You absolutely were not able to do anything beyond that point. You had to disintegrate. So I understand why. And maybe this is my problem, is every time I go through something, I got to teach now. I got to understand the why. And I know why. I know why. No one's being real with you about what you're really dealing with. So you can't actually fix it. And it's imagine going to a school where you're going to be told that the situation is A when it's really B. It's going to prepare you for C when it's really X. You're going to be given a bunch of skills that aren't skills at all. And they're going to lie about the skills, and it's going to be false skills. And then you're going to have this massive height of, woohoo, the world, I'm ready for it. And you're not. It's going to take you 20 years to realize they lied to you. Oh, let's say 15. Let's be kind. Let's say it's going to take you 15 years to realize. It's going to take you all of your 20s. And you're going to spend your 20s going, okay, none of this makes sense. It doesn't match. And by the time you are 35 to 40 years old, that's how long it's going to take you to realize that they lied to you. Can we all do our children a favor and not let them figure this out on their own? This needs to be like the number one thing that needs to change. How about if we all unanimously have this conversation with our children? Elizabeth, I love you. I'm going to tell you right now, you were lied to by everyone. School did not prepare you for life. Yeah, but you're going to figure it out at 16 years old instead of 35. I'm going to tell you. She figured it out at 12. Well, she had me as a mother, so I sat there like bitching about how this is all fucked up. Like since she, yeah. So if you really, this is the number one thing you can do for the next generation. Tell them the fucking truth. Tell them the fucking truth. Your teachers are lying to you. That's the first truth. There you go. We're going to do this. Number one, this is going out to I have a teenager course and I'm putting in here. Your teachers are lying to you. The teachers lie. No. 100%. Oh, no, I take it back. 98%. 98% of what you learn in school is garbage. You do learn how to read. That's correct. They got the reading right. Yes! They taught you how to read. Lizzie's going, you didn't learn reading comprehension.
No, they did horribly when I had to teach myself how to read mostly.
Yeah, she had to teach herself how to read.
And write.
See, they did really well teaching me how to read. I didn't go to the public school though. I went to a parochial school and they were like, oh my God, it was Umbridge. Read what's there. Oh my God, I got the most abusively rigorous reading. You have no idea. I learned how to read. Wow, did they teach me how to read? Yeah, that best education for reading. It was you read what's there. So here's what they did. First, it was only print. We only learned print. There was no cursive. We did not learn cursive. Did you learn cursive? They taught you cursive, didn't they?
Yeah, that was the first thing I taught before learning how to write.
And what's in a book? Books are in print, so you should learn print. So here's how they did it. If you make a mistake, you start the paragraph over. It doesn't matter how small the mistake is. You make a mistake, paragraph over. So I recall a news article I read some years ago about a medical researcher of high repute who was discovered to have been faking his data for a long time while piling up grant after grant and honor after honor. There was no way for self-esteem not to be a casualty of such behavior, even before the fakery was revealed. He knowingly chose to live in a world of unreality, where his achievements and prestige were equally unreal. Are we listening to this book? This is 6 Pillars of Self-Esteem by Nathaniel Branden. He's a philosopher of 20 years. He was Ayn Rand's lover for 20 years. He knew fucking shit. Long before others knew, he knew. Imposters of this kind, who live for an illusion in someone else's mind, which they hold as more important than their own knowledge of the truth, do not enjoy good self-esteem. Oh yeah. I read every word 100% perfectly. That is the rigorous training I got. That's learning how to read. That's how you fucking learn how to read. If you make a mistake, you start over. And they wanted fluency. So they went for precision and fluency in print. Precision, fluency in print. You make a mistake, you do it over. I was 5 when I got that training. And by the time I was in kindergarten, by the time I was in 1st grade, fuck damn, did I know how to read. Damn. And when I went over from that school over to the public school in 6th grade, I got to see the difference. Never fucking teach your kids cursive writing. Cursive was something I learned for 6 months, and that's all I needed. It was literally just a 6-month period, and it was just, I could do cursive writing. I only needed it for 6 months. It's literally just how to write. So when I learned how to write, I learned how to do print. I learned how to read in print, but I learned how to write in cursive as well. It did not supplant my print, not at all. Teach your children how to read in print. So the first thing we need to tell our children right away is the teachers are lying to you. 98% of the stuff you learn is false, it's garbage, and it's out of order. Why do you have to go? Because you're a slave. Because you legally have no choice. The government is violating your consent. Tell your children the truth and they'll give you respect and trust. This is how you get respect and trust. You tell the fucking truth. Respect and trust. Doesn't matter how fucking bitchy you are. If you tell people the truth, respect and trust. Legally, no choice. They are violating your consent. My advice, this is what I did. Absolutely downgrade all education that you possibly can. Downgrade it all. Really, I recommend you homeschool. Homeschool. Now, if you cannot or you cannot afford it, downgrade all of their education and then do Plato's curriculum, which is available for free on my website. Absolutely supplement with Plato's curriculum. That's good education. That's it right there. The next thing you need to know is what life is really about. I did God knows how many fucking interviews. I did over 1,000 interviews. And I asked every fucking person across the world, not every person, all of my interviews, there was no age, no region. It was everybody. It was a hodgepodge. I wanted to know what they wished they had learned. I got the same 7 answers from everybody. The same fucking thing. They wish they had learned problem solving, social skills, relationships, finance, mental health, self-comprehension. What? No, they did not say how to drive. Taxes, which is part of finance. That's it. Same fucking answers over and over on repeat. Problem solving, social skills, relationships, finance, mental health, and self-comprehension and taxes. Those were the answers that I got over and over again. I then turned around and built all my courses around those things right here. Problem solving is logic and math. Social skills and relationships is linguistics and logic. Finance is math. Mental health is logic. Self-comprehension is logic. Do you see a pattern? And taxes is math. There it is. You needed to study linguistics, logic, and math. The subjects they didn't cover in school. Mathematics is part 2 of logic. So if you just studied math, well, first they take the algebra literally out of math, and then they completely remove logic. So you're not going to understand math. And it's also part of linguistics. So if you don't study linguistics and math, logic, you're not going to understand math. So what life really is, do not let your baby boomer parents tell your children what they think life is, because this is what a baby boomer will tell you life is. First, you pay taxes and you die. This is wrong. This is not it. Yes, Liz?
I have a phrase.
Yes.
You ask them what life is. These are the best years of your life.
These are the best years of your life. Don't let baby boomers give you any advice. They're dumbasses. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a fluke if you get one who's actually like got life figured out properly. Most of them are dumbasses. Don't do it. Oh God, Gen X, like that's it. Just Gen X walked away and went, okay, so that happened. That's really the motto of Gen X is, well, that happened. And it was like, okay, so here's a list of everything you don't do. I'm a Gen Xer, can you tell? So what life really is. Life, and I just watched a video, and I think this is it. Between these 2 people in my family passing away, why do I have avocado on my phone? Between these 2 people in my life passing away, I don't understand how. And the other, and this video, I think that's why I snapped. This video I watched was I did 1,000 videos, and it was just asking a bunch of elderly people what they wish they had learned in life. And this gentleman took the 1,000 videos and he said, okay, guys, here's the statistics. All of them said the same 3 things. And when I heard what they had to say, I'm just going to tell you. The first thing was, do not listen to do not care what people think. Do not care what people think was a big one. The other thing that they said was, know yourself. Know yourself. Oh, good God, this is a big one. Know yourself. The third one they said, oh, good God, what was it? I do not know what the third one was. Shit. I cannot remember. I cannot remember what the third one was. Let me see if I can. Was I watching it on my phone? I may have been watching it on my phone. No. I don't remember what the third one was. I think that's when I got really angry and I called my mom and then I started screaming at her. So let your children know what life really is. What life really is this. You don't fucking know. You don't fucking know because you had teachers who lied to you and no one told you the truth. You don't know. And when you got out, it took you literally 15 to 20 years to realize how many people had lied to you. I don't know if you did this. When I figured this out and I talked to my parents about it, my father denied it. Oh yeah. Like he was like, I was 34. Why the fuck didn't you tell me this? Well, yeah. Like, you don't have life figured out. He's a baby boomer. Like, you don't have life figured out. Why are you pretending you have life figured out? So really, this needs to be like something we need to educate our children on now. Is there is, and this is it right here, is there are more options than what they tell you. This was my big thing, is there are so many fucking options. Life is not, I fucking hate the game of life. I just got to say, the game of life is part of the problem. And that's the summation of it. You have to go to college or get a job. That's bullshit. That's baby boomer shit. You can become a freelance. You can travel the world. You can be a NEET. Yay, NEET. You can be a life educator. No. Two options? No. You do not have an either or. This is black and white thinking. This is toxicity from baby boomer shit. So really the big thing is, if we don't start preparing our children, because here's the real truth of it for parents, is you really need to wrap your head around the fact that your teachers for your children are not going to do their job. They're not going to do their job. They are agents of the government. They are government agents. That is what a teacher is. They are government agents. This is so funny shit, but it's true. They're hired by the government. So the government's telling them what to say. They're little puppets. They're government puppets. There you go. They are government puppets. They are Agent Smith. That's what they are. Teachers are Agent Smith, which means parents, it's up to you. If you really want your children to do better, you've really got to prepare them, because the teachers are not going to do it. Because the shit that you got in school did jack and fucking shit for you. And this is it right here, is if parents don't really get their heads around, wow, I really need to take significant action with my children. I mean radical action, radical parenting action. This is it right here. This is where the change is going to take place, is the parent who realizes, I need to fucking be honest with my kid. Like, that's it right there. You've got to be honest with your kid. I'm going to tell you how I parent my children. This is exactly how I parent my children. There's no rules. There's no expectations. They are not going to be living the same shit life I did. That was mandatory for me. I spent 40 years of my life trying to survive and then put my face and my head back together again. For my children, I literally say, do whatever the fuck you want. Do whatever the fuck you want. Listen to no one. Do whatever the fuck you want. That's it. Do whatever the fuck you want. This is literally my parental advice. Take however much time you need to figure yourself out first. Do not get a job unless you want to. Fuck money. That's literally my parenting advice for my kids. Do whatever the fuck you want. Take however much time you need to figure yourself out. Do not get a job unless you want it. Fuck money. Now, here's the flip side of it. Learn as much as you can, specifically about finance. Learn about real estate and investment. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Learn how to learn. Learn linguistics, logic, and math. Physics helps. That's it. That's it right there. That is how I raise my children. That's it right there. Do whatever the fuck you want. Indulge, explore, make mistakes, fuck up. Have a psychologically safe place that you can be chaotic. My children are fucking ethical and they're growing, and my God, are they working on their happiness. My children are defining themselves. They're figuring out who they are. I've got a 16-year-old who's already graduated from high school, who's already studying logic, physics, geometry, all on her own because she's learning. No one had to tell her to learn. She just did it on her own. My son, after he had a really significant struggle with mental illness, has come back from it. He spent 3 years indulging in video games, and now he's designing his own video game, and he's doing his own education. He's studying physics, geometry, math, logic, linguistics, and he's putting himself through the education he needs to create and design his own video games. And it's like, take whatever the fuck time you guys need to know who you are before you do anything. Now, my plan, my goal, my hypothesis, I need to say based off of this projection, it looks like by the time they are 25, they will be where I am at 45. Now that's progress. That's it right there. The way they're going with the projection right now that they are on, by the time my children are 25 years old, they will be where I am at 45. And I'm also in the process of getting them set up with real estate and investment to take care of their financial future. Now that is fucking parenting. That's how it's done. And I've told the rest of the world to shut the fuck up, because if it had any clue how to raise people, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in. Be realistic about what human is. And that's really it. When I put this whole thing together, I love the ethics. I fucking love the ethics. I cannot emphasize that to you enough. I want to be a good person. We are good people. But I am a firm believer that good people, oh, this is it right here. This is the juice. Good people is about being honest about what good people is. It doesn't mean that you're this pompous, righteous, stick up your ass fuckhead. I don't believe in that shit. I believe in truth. I believe in real. I believe in down to earth. I believe that magic and mysticism are fucking amazing. And I need them. Oh, good God, do I need my imagination and my magic? Do I believe magic is real? Oh, fuck hell, yes. On a scientific, magical physics standpoint, and also in this world, because I believe in story. If that's not magic, I don't know what is. Really, that's the truth of it. Between story and imagination and physics, if that's not magic, then I don't know what the fuck is. How is that not magic? And there are dragons in this world. I know it, and I'm going to find them. Just saying. That being said, yes, there's dragons. Okay. There's dragons every day. My daughter tells me that there's something on the internet, and she's like, oh, Mom, did they find dragons? Have they found the dragons yet? Have they found the dragons yet? They did just find out that Stonehenge has part of a Scottish stone that they hauled down from like, all the way up there. I mean, like all the way up there. All the way up there. It's up there. I can't remember where it was. So I am a firm believer that if you want to be an ethical and a good person, it starts with being fucking honest, truth, real, down to earth. And that's really be fucking honest about what humanity is. And this is what I've noticed. This is really it right here. People who are overkind are fucking clueless about what actual kindness is. So they play it safe by going the extreme, by being overkind, because they have no fucking idea. That's what I learned. Of everything that I learned, that is what I learned. That overkind people have no clue how to self-regulate when it comes to the dichotomy of good and evil. And that's really what it is. They do not understand the dichotomy of good and evil. Do I swear? Oh, fuck yes. Absolutely. Is it ethical? No. It's neither ethical nor is it unethical. Swearing is neither good nor bad. It is not a measure of one's ethical integrity. And that's a huge part of it, is you need to know what actually should be weighed in for ethical integrity. Oh, believe me, I checked out swearing when I did my whole thing. Offending people is not ethical or unethical. Did you know? No, no one studied ethics, so you wouldn't know. So I'm going to tell you, ethical integrity is not how people feel about you. Ethical integrity is your relationship with your intentions. If you intend to harm someone, you're a fucking asshole. You are unethical. If you intend to be a good person, then you are a good person. Do you feel bad when you cause harm to others? Yes, that makes you a good person. But are you responsible for the feelings of others? No. And this is it right here, is you need to know the difference between the responsibility of other people's emotions and you causing harm to people. We're all stupid. That's human. And we're all geniuses. Oh, every fucking one of us. We have a genius underneath our stupid. And me included. Am I going to tell you stupid if you're stupid? Oh, you bet you're that honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. That's dishonest. Lying is unethical because now you're violating the fucking ethics. You have no idea what humanity is. You haven't looked at it. Most people don't even know what love is. I screamed at my mother about this for a long time. Oh, did I scream at her? I was on the phone with her and I'm like, you have no fucking idea what love is. I asked. I was 4. And not one of you could give me a straight fucking answer. It took me 30 years, 40 years to figure out what love was. From a man who's terrified of it. Yes, it's ironic. My daughter's going, that's ironic. Yes. Irony. Yeah. Lying is unethical. So I'm going to sit there and say stupid is as stupid does. When I say stupid, I'm going to say it because it's dishonest not to. Because this is all about you measuring your metric. This is all about you being able to measure truth to the bullshit. You're sick of the bullshit? You need to know how to measure truth. And that's really what this is about. You've got your bullshit and you've got your truth. And if you don't know how to tell honest from bullshit, then how do you know when someone's lying to you? I'm going to tell you right now, you don't. Because if you are not a master of logic, you don't know when someone's lying to you. It's a skill. It's very easy with the right education. So now you're looking at humanity. You're looking at overkind people who are now overcautious and now they're eggshell walking because they have no fucking idea. They think that you've got to be kind all the time. No, you don't have to be kind all the time. That's not human. Kindness has a place. So does being mean. It's integrated. It's not, oh, we only have to do kind. That's as bad as fucking Buddhists who are going, oh, I got to do avoidant behavior. Now you're practicing the addiction behavior again. It's not, you're not integrating. You failed the lesson. The lesson is you need the good and the bad integrated. The only way through, the only way to the other side is through. You got to be mean and you got to be kind and you got to learn how to regulate them. And there's going to be times where someone needs to sit you down and tell you you're being a fucking dumbass. Well, you're being mean. Yeah, sometimes you need to be mean. It has its place. It's all about regulation. It's 100% about regulation. Now, if you are deliberately trying to hurt people for no reason, if you're just trying to hurt people, you're a fucking asshole. That's not ethical. When you follow the 12 ethics, you learn this. The 12 ethics were reverse engineered out of Mother Nature. And then every fucking religious person in every fucking world and every fucking spiritual everything aligned with it. And I went, wow, look at that. Christ was a fucking asshole. He literally used a flogger and beat people in the temple. A few months before his crucifixion, or a few weeks before his crucifixion. He was a fucking asshole. If he was not ethical, then who the fuck is? Oh, it drove me crazy when I was a kid. I remember going, okay, wait a minute. I thought Christ was pure. Why is he literally flogging people? Why is he throwing a tantrum? I thought this was bad. Oh, it drove me crazy. How can Christ be pure and perfect and also bad? Oh, that drew a lot of attention from me. I spent so much time studying that part of everything. And that's when I realized sometimes you got to be mean, and that's not unethical to be mean. If you're being mean because you're a fucking asshole and you're just, well, you might be working out something, but again, now you're looking at the growth stage. Now it's hey, I got to be a fucking asshole. Well, be a fucking asshole. Get it out of your system. Redirect it safely in a place like YouTube where no one can harm you, and put it on YouTube. That way you can get it out of your system. Make it private if you want to. And then when it's all out of your system, go mingle with people again. But hey, people have the right to turn you off. It's fantastic. And they need to use discernment. That's not their problem. You can walk away. So it's really this line in the road of understanding that right ratio of humanity. And that's it. Humanity is a ratio of all. And if you don't fucking know the ratio, then how do you know if what you're doing is ethical? Now you're just ignorant. And I'm not afraid to tell people you're being fucking ignorant. It means ignore. One of the things that I learned real fast was we live in a society where we don't see honesty. So when we see it, we don't know what to do with it. We do not see what honesty actually looks like. We don't see self-esteem. So when I started to use my self-esteem, people called me arrogant. I went, no, this is self-esteem. Meanwhile, they were struggling with addiction, self-loathing, and they completely shoved themselves into the level of a door. So having a doormat tell you that you're arrogant, no. Fuck that shit. Self-esteem is self-love. It's pride. It's being able to say, I'm fucking smart. I can be stupid. It's all relative. Knowing your relativity is where you get smart. But you got to be self-honest for that stuff. We do not have any idea what authentic and real actually looks like. Oh, there's a lot of people looking for it and they're fucking clueless because they're ignorant. They're ignorant because they've never seen it. This is why I'm on YouTube being real with you so you can see what it looks like. Am I pleasant all the time? Fuck that shit, no. Because that's not real. No one is pleasant all the fuck time. That whole put your best foot forward, that's not the way it works. There's nothing I can stand more than, how do you feel? Oh, I'm fine. No. I'm not going to tell you I'm fucking fine. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you I feel like fucking shit today. I just got news again that somebody in my family died. Again, 3 days apart. I'm having a really bad fucking shit day. And the only thing that is real is truth. That's what we just read about in self-esteem. The only thing that is real is truth. It's the only fucking thing that's real. When you're sitting there going around going, I'm going to be authentic. Great. Get used to being truth. You better get real comfortable with your self-honesty if you want to be authentic. I went on and, I was not doing well today. I was not doing well. I went in and I realized that I'm surrounded by a bunch of fucking hippies, and I am a hippie, but not that much. Not that much. Like in doses, I'm a hippie. I'm an everything. I am an everything. Get used to saying that. I am an everything. That's why I call us changelings. That is why. Is because when you say I'm a changeling, it allows you to change. So you are in everything. Get used to this concept. You are in everything. Because when you start to realize, oh, I'm in everything, you start to find all the pieces of you in everything. Suddenly you don't have to choose. Suddenly you're free. You don't have all these limitations. You can be in everything. And you are a changeling because you do change. And that's fucking cool because it's a magical creature. And there's the magic in you because you're everything. And as soon as you realize that you're everything, Suddenly it's realizing who you are in relativity to yourself. Am I pleasant? Not all the fucking time. When I'm a hoot, oh, I'm a fucking hoot. When I'm in my party mode, oh, I'm awesome. When I'm imagination, oh, hell yeah. Imagination, sunshine adventures, oh, we're going down. Oh, things are happening, people. Am I a bitch? Yep. Sometimes. Because I'm human. We're sentient stories. Oh, get used to that one. When you realize you are a sentient story of the world changes. The world changes. This is what I learned from the science of all of everything, is that we are everything, that we are changelings, and that we are sentient stories. See, the problem is when I called myself a human being, it didn't feel right. I didn't even know what a human being was. I don't know about you, but there is so much fucking fake in this world that I can't even tell what a real human being is. Are we supposed to look like this? Or did somebody tell us so long ago that this is how we all looked and we forgot that we're changelings, and so this is the form we've taken? I don't know, which is why I'm a changeling. So that if this isn't my true form, please be a mermaid. Please be a mermaid. I want to be a mermaid. If this is not my true form, then I want to be open-minded to be whatever the fuck I'm going to turn into. Please be a mermaid. So this is what I'm talking about. When you call yourself a changeling, it opens the door for whatever you actually are to get unstuck. It changes the way you think about change, because change is growth. And if you're walking around claiming to be a human being in a fake world with no humanity, with extremes, you're not going to know a fucking thing about the truth. Use truth as your metric of everything. Use truth as your metric of all. And I'll tell you why. One, when you use logic to measure truth, oh, goddamn, it will not change. It is constant. Two, you have a constant. Three, it is an anchor and it does the grounding for you. You're done. You don't need to ground yourself if you've got truth. Truth does all of that for you. It never moves. Truth never moves. It is the only fucking thing in a world of change that doesn't change, is truth. And then I've got these dip fucks walking around going, truth is an opinion. You are a fucking idiot. Really? Truth is an opinion. Is there a part of your brain that's gapping with what the definition of truth means? I love scientists. They have common sense. I couldn't stand it anymore. I couldn't. I could not handle people defending opinion as if it were truth. I felt like Sheldon Cooper listening to his mother. Now, evolution is not in this world. Mother, evolution is fact, and that is your opinion. I can't do it. Sheldon gives a look when his mother says that, and I'm going, that's the look. That's the look. I felt like I was Sheldon Cooper in a world of Sheldon's mothers. Oh, there it is. And I just couldn't handle it anymore. Does that make me mad? Yeah. Truth, and this is it right here. Truth is the thing that defined me so solidly, so completely, that I got the fuck out of Dodge. I went, truth. Oh, look at that. I'm not mentally ill anymore. So now truth and I are real cozy together. And I'm sitting here with truth all over me because I'm not mentally ill anymore. And here's the wonderful thing about this. If I did not find truth, my mind would not have worked. All of the math would not have lined up. I would not have been able to upload the AI DNS into my system. I would still be mentally ill, but it's not, because it's right. So now I'm sitting here going, well, that's fucking truth. Then I've got these mentally moronic idiots trying to tell me that my truth is wrong. Well, I'm not mentally ill anymore. My truth worked. How's yours? Like, You make up 100% of everything. Everything. If you choose people who do not grow, then you will outgrow them. This is the lesson I needed to learn today. If you choose people who do not grow, then you will outgrow them. Or you will not grow. I have to tell somebody this. This is very, very important. Every now and then I get an Anna-ism and I have to share it. If you choose people who do not grow, then you will outgrow them. Or you will not grow. Then there it is. That really is it in a nutshell. My problem was not that I was choosing people A or people B. I was choosing people who were not growing. So when you choose people who grow. Choose people who grow because you're going to grow. If you're healthy, you'll grow. The healthy grow. That is really it right there. If you're healthy, you'll grow. And if you choose people who grow, then you'll grow. You'll influence their growth. They will influence and they will nourish yours. Growing is not, it is change. Growing is change. If you have somebody, and this is it right here, surround yourself with people who love change. Make sure you surround yourself with people who love change. I'm learning this myself. I'm learning it the hard way. Because I change so fast. I change so fast that if somebody misses a week of my life, they've missed an equivalent of 5 years of everybody else. I do the equivalent of 5 years of growing in 1 week. So that if somebody in my life misses me for 1 week, they're outdated and I cannot catch them up, because by the time I've filled them in this is the last 5 years that you missed, which is equivalent to 1 week of my life, I've already grown and I'm already on to the next story. And I'll spend our entire friendship with just me trying to catch them up. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. I grow way too fast to have non-growers around me. And that's really it. When you value growth, you're moving on so fast. And here's the thing is we're speeding up. It's in science. We're speeding up. And if you're not moving at the speed of your own synapses, if you're not growing at the speed of time, oh, that's dying. That's literally disintegration. Which is really awesome, because what you're really doing is you're time traveling, but you're not time traveling. You're actually keeping pace with time. And as you keep pace with time, you're actually retaining the youth, because you're not actually being dragged back in time, which is really awesome. So you can actually slow your aging by going faster than time. It's really fucking cool, but you got to know how to change to the speed of your own synapses. It's really fucking cool. So when you learn how to grow that fucking fast, when you learn how to align and keep up with it, oh, you're set. Oh, you are so fucking set. But you've really got to change the way you think about growth, which is why you're a changeling. So yeah, you are 100% of everything. And you're a sentient story. Truth is the metric of all. If you choose people who do not grow, then you will not grow with them. You will outgrow them. Or you will not grow. So far, it looks like the only thing that kills a person is literally not growing. Not growing is lethal. And that's it. Sometimes I often wonder why certain people in history lived to be 900 years old and never made it past that point. I'm like, what happened at 900 years old? Like, you had it figured out. You were clearly doing something right. What the fuck happened at 900 years old that you didn't make it? What is this moment? What? When what?
When it all went to crap.
When it all went to crap?
Like maybe that's when the time period started. Like this time.
Oh, this time period. You mean the 4th century?
Like when people like started treating like
Yeah, fourth century. Yeah, not growing is lethal. Really. So I'm in the process of building an RPG. And oh my God, it is like, I have plans. I collaborated with somebody yesterday on this, and we are starting to put it all together, and I am just like, oh my God. If you're not realistic about what your healing looks like, and here's the thing is, once you start getting it going, and there's going to be that moment where you're like, this isn't healing. This is returning to the actual life stream. There's no such thing as healing. There is a transition process in which you are going from the trauma sequence and you are moving over into you're moving from the trauma sequence over into the natural sequence. That's really what you're doing, is the transition. There's a culture shock, and then there's the disorientation. There's that. And then there's I'm growing. But then there's at what rate are you growing? And this is what I noticed is you're growing, right? What's your frequency of growth? Oh, I love throwing this one at people. You're growing. What's your frequency of growth? Do you know your frequency of growth? See, this is what pisses me off is I can track frequency of growth. It's science. So I'm sitting here going, all right, I know my frequency of growth. What's your frequency of growth? And then I meet somebody, oh yeah, I love growing. Great. What's your frequency? And they don't even know how to track it. And then I talk to them for a bit and I find out that they're in the same stage literally for 10 years. And I'm like, you call that growth? That's not growth. So here's your frequency of growth. You are supposed to be shifting one perspective per year. It's supposed to match your age. If you are 45, your ethical perspective should be 45, which is the speed in which your synapses fires, which is this rate in which you can communicate, which is the way you can do logic. So you have your logic, you have your word formation, you have your ethics, you have your physical body age, and then you have your, one more, physical age, ethics, logic, word format. Why am I now thinking about Umbrella Academy? Like, that just popped in my head. Synapses. I suddenly went, oh my God, I want to watch Umbrella Academy again. Like in the middle of the day, suddenly that just popped in my head. Okay, so so your physical age, that's your body age, your ethical age, your logical comprehension. This is how fast you can weave logic, your word formation, and then your synapses firing in your brain. So your synapses firing should be literally aligned with your physical age, your ethics, your comprehension, and your word formation, which means you should be talking as fast as you think. That's what it means. You should be talking as fast as you think. Logic is you should be problem solving as fast as you think. This is it right here. So your thinking, your talking, your problem solving should be literally aligned. And that should be all aligned to your ethical age, which should be aligned with your physical age. For comparison, I'm 44 years old. My ethical IQ is 45, and I am logically, see, my word formation is still lagging. My logical comprehension and my synapses firing is equivalent to my physical age and my ethical age. When I'm tired, stressed, hungry, my word formation goes down, which, yes, I am. But my word formation lags because it's not yet up to par. I'm still working on it. So if you are 45 and you are keeping pace with me, understanding everything I am saying, and if you are able to pull off the exact same thing I'm pulling off, well, then you're good. But if you're way behind and you're not understanding half the shit I'm saying, if you can't pull this off, it means that you have a misalignment going on. Your misalignment in most cases is probably 4 to 6 years old. Probably 4 to 6 years old. Probably 4 to 6 years old. Now, you might be between 7 and 10. You might be between 7 and 10. But in order to get to the point of 7 and 10, you've got to have your first, second, third ethic worked out. If your first, second, third ethic is worked out, then what you're looking at that point is your foundation is missing, which means you cannot go on to the 7th. So if you have any mental illness, you cannot move on to the 7th. You cannot. It's not possible. It's just not possible. You must have the foundation. Once you are at that point where these 5 elements align, now you are actually growing at the speed of time. Never, ever, ever hide who you are and what you are. And that's just it, is when you start to eggshell walk, it's because your friends are violating the 12th ethic. Ironically, if they accuse you of being judgmental, they are judging you. That's it right there. If they accuse you of being judgmental, they are judging you. In order to accuse somebody, you have to violate the 12 ethics. And this is the difference between accusation and being honest. This is it right here. This is it right here. What is the difference between accusing someone and being honest? This is a big one. Accusing someone is you weighing in their ethical integrity. Being honest is telling people what they need to hear to wake up. It's intent again. It's telling people what they need to hear. Telling people what they need to hear. Accusation is you weighing in on their ethical integrity. Their ethical integrity is not your business. It's not your business at all. If you care about somebody, then yeah, be honest. Absolutely be honest. I take elements of my life, I analyze them, and then I flip them over and I say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. There's probably people dealing with it also. What are the odds that I'm the only one in the world dealing with something that come on, that's not real. So if I'm dealing with it, I'm going to talk about it because everybody deals with it. So, and it's how I know what to talk about. I get confronted by people who literally have a shit education with learning. Then don't waste my time. And that's really it. You've got to decide if you're going to learn and grow or not. And learning is growing. Learning is growing. This is the biggest thing. I remember this with my therapy. My then husband started his therapy before I did. And this really, I had the education I had. So I figured the math out pretty quick. I did a whole, I'm going to turn myself over to their system. I'm going to sample. I really wanted to trial their system. So I gave it about 3 years, 3 solid years of blindly doing whatever they told me to do. Even though I knew over here, I went into the full student role with this. So from 2015 to 2018, I did 100% everything they told me to do to the letter, and it actually caused me more trauma. And those dipshits told me that my imagination was dissociation. So in 2018, I completely abandoned their program. I said, fuck this shit, and I did my own program. And that's when I built Triadic Healing. So, well, I started to build it. I started to piece it together. I then, because I figured out how to track healing, I was able to watch the progress of my then partner. And I was able to see that he was not at all healing. If anything, he was regressing. And I noticed, because I do this with people, I analyze them. I noticed that the reason why he wasn't growing is because he was a narcissist who resisted. It was 100% resistance with the ego. His ego resisted. And I watched him for literally 5 years have zero, if anything, he regressed because he refused to give up the ego. And it was amazing to see the amount of egotistical resistance while he regressed. It was extraordinary. And I have never seen ego and resistance. And this is it right here. I say the educational system, it does. It makes you dumber. It's dropped our IQ points, but 20 points. But in addition to that, resistance and ego is the other problem. That's why we're all getting dumber, is because we have too much ego. You don't learn. And if you're not honest with your ego, if you're not honest about where you are in relativity to your ego, you're never going to grow. So you've got to be able to measure your ego. You've got to be able to measure your stupid. You've got to be able to measure your genius. You've got to be able to measure truth. Why aren't we taught this in school? I don't understand. The ability to measure these things is vital to knowing where you are in relativity to the situation. So now, and once you have the situation defined, all of this measurement allows you to define the situation, and that allows you to diagnose the situation and allows you to solve the situation. That's the order of events. That's the sequence. So now your ego, stupid, genius, truth. You want to be able to measure those 4 things. And then you want to define the situation based off of the metric of those 4 things. And then you want to be able to diagnose it and then solve it. But if you can't even measure, you're fucked. You're done. You won't be able to, no, you're done. If you can't measure, you can't define. And then there's your rate of growth. Let's talk about that. Let's add the rate of growth, your frequency in there. So now you've got people going, oh yeah, I grow. Okay, what's your frequency? What's your rate of growth? Do you know how to measure your rate of growth? Do you know how to measure your ego? Do you know how to measure your stupid? Do you know how to measure your genius? Do you know how to measure truth? You can't do that? Well, then how can you define your situation? You can't define your situation? Well, then how the fuck can you diagnose it? You can't diagnose it? Well, then how the fuck are you solving it? Are you a dumbass who's just trying to solve it without any of that stuff? But you weren't taught. And this is it right here. Is if you can't measure these things to define it, to diagnose, to solve it, well, then what the fuck are you solving? Really, that's the question. What the fuck are you solving? This is all we are going to be talking about over the next few days. is this right here. How to measure your growth, your rate, your stupid, your ego, your genius, your truth. You can't do that. You can't define. You can't define, you can't diagnose, you can't solve. So what the fuck are you solving? Because it sure as hell isn't the problem, which is probably why you're not growing, which is probably why you're not seeing any kind of change. You should be seeing vast amounts of change. It's one of the things that really annoys me about people when they come to me and they're like, oh my God, you've helped me so much. And then they resist me. You said I help you. When they don't resist me, oh my God, do they get data and it changes. And when they resist me, nothing changes. And it's amazing. The same person will resist me. And then where they're not resisting me, oh, they see drastic change. And then they'll resist me. And I'm going, logic says that when you have non-resistance and you see change, that you should go 100% non-resistance for the change. And it fascinates me to watch this constantly, like this fascinates me. This absolutely is the most fascinating thing. So, and this is right here, is if you are not tracking your rate of change, it's literally an accelerator. Truth is an accelerator for this shit, but you've got to be able to measure this. Truth is the real accelerator. And if you find something that works, like how, and this is really the question, how long do you want to take to change? How long do you want to spend healing? Oh, this is it right here. How long do you want to spend healing? That's like a huge part of all of this. How long do you want to spend on your healing? Realistically, my people can go through this in 3 months. With zero resistance, 3 months. Zero resistance, 3 months. And that resistance, because this is physics, is going to increase how much change you don't have. So if you have 100% resistance, you're going to have no change. And then it's back to that ego again of, do you want change or do you want the ego stroked? And it's that ego, 100% resistance, no change. Student, no resistance, 3 months. And it's amazing to see what people will hold on to. It's absolutely amazing to see what people will hold on to. I have literally a list. I need to publicize this. The list of what people will hold on to. It amazes me. They will hold on to the labels. They will hold on to the definitions. They will hold on to opinions. They will hold on to lies. They will hold on to the value of abusers. Oh, they love to value abusers. That one's very common. They love to value their abusers. The abuser hurts me. I hate what they do to me. Well, then why are you valuing them? And they're not being honest about the value of their abuser. Oh, that's a big one. That is a big, and this is all self-honesty. The diagnosis is bullshit. That's another one. Oh, they resist that one a lot. They tell me I've got a diagnosis. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. You want to know what's wrong with you? I will tell you what's wrong with you. You aren't growing. You have a growth deficit. That is your problem. You have a growth deficit from being stupid. Literally, you are stupid. That is your diagnosis. You're ignorant because you were not taught how to learn. That's it. You're ignorant because you were not taught how to learn. So you're not learning, so you're not growing. So now you have a deficit. That's your problem. If you are not at the 45th ethic at 45 years old, then you got catching up to do. Now, this is amazing, is you'll slow down when you get to that point. It's absolutely amazing. You will slow down when you get to that point. It's wonderful. Yeah, growth deficit from being stupid. That's what every person with a mental illness has. And we're back to this again. If you do not have an aligned physical age, ethical age, logical comprehension with word formation and synopsis firing, Nope, you have a diagnosis of stupid. You have a diagnosis of stupid. So now the question is, how much stupid is covering up your genius? Because when you remove the stupid, your genius will come out, and then you'll really get to measure how much you were abused. Then you'll really get, because your abuse stunts your growth. But it would not have if you had the right education. And that's it right there. Abuse stunts your growth and suppresses your genius because you were not educated on how to learn. Had you been educated, you never would have gotten abused. And the biggest education that we lack is, who should you trust? Oh, that's it right there. It's the trust. You were told to trust teachers. Don't trust teachers. They lie to you. I will tell you the one teacher I trusted more than anything, my history teacher. Day one, walked into his class. He handed us the history book and he said, don't believe a fucking word in this book. I believe he said the word fuck. Mr. Brooks would have said the word fuck. He said, do not believe a fucking word in this book. Okay. He goes, the authors have lied to you. I've been paid to stand up here and tell you precisely on script what the government wants me to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. Sold. I had the best history teacher. That was my history teacher. I had him for 3 classes. And I learned so much from that man. He went to school every summer. I had that conversation. You go to school? He goes, yes, I'm a life learner. That's what I do. He was so fucking honest. He told us the truth. The history books are doctored. It's garbage. Read. You want the truth? Read. You want the truth? Learn to do your own research. You want the truth? Learn how to learn. That's what he said to me. I went, holy shit, that's a history teacher. Yeah. Oh, I loved him. He was fucking amazing. He was amazing. He was the epitome. You know, cool teacher? He was the epitome of cool teacher. We had a history class, and then we had the roof, and we could look across the history room. No, you couldn't go on the roof. And you look across the history class, and there's the study hall room. So you could wave at the study hall kids, but they wouldn't let you on the roof. Senior year, I'm sitting down in art class, and I said, no, I want to go on the roof. So I went up to the I went up to the study hall. It was like a week before graduation. And I climbed out of the study hall window and I ran across that roof and said, yes! And then I climbed into Mr. Brooks's history class and he goes, guys. And I'm like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I got a week before graduation, Mr. Brooks. What you going to do? And he's like, every year someone does. I'm like, got to do it. Been wanting to do this for like 7 years. I wanted to run. Like, why am I walking in the U shape? Oh, why am I taking the straightest point to anything is a straight line? Come on. Oh, God. Just once I wanted. So I did it. I went out. So yeah, you're not supposed to go on the roof. Fuck that shit, I did. It was like, all they had to do was put a railing out. Like, this is not hard. You just put a fucking railing because the fest, and it was so irritating. I had that class. I had study hall and I had history. And I had to walk all the way around. And I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Why can't I just like crawl out the window and run across this whole platform and get over there? So I think it was the last day of school. I don't think it was 1 week. I think it was the last day of school. And that's why I said it, is because fuck it, I'm doing it. Oh my God, I loved it. That's right. Mr. Brooks was amazing. And he was just like, dudes. It's like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Mr. Brooks? So that's it. That's your official diagnosis. You've got a serious case of growth deficit from being stupid because of poor education, and you had your growth stunted from abuse with suppressing your genius because you had shit education. That's it. That is exactly it. Because you were told to trust assholes. Don't trust teachers. Don't trust the parents because they're parrots. Don't trust the government. Trust your own fucking authority. Trust your own mind. That's it right there. Trust truth. That's why it's called truth, is because you can trust it. Trust truth. That is what you are supposed to trust. Trust fucking truth. How do you figure out truth? Logic. Logic is literally the science of dissecting truth and figuring out truth. You can use logic to tell who's lying to you. So if you become an uber awesome, skilled logician like me, you can figure out truth from lie very easily because logical deduction allows you to do that. Sophie's World. Read Sophie's World. It's amazing. Trust truth. Don't trust anything else. Trust truth. That's what you can trust. It anchors you. No chakra stone required. It will ground your ass because it's truth. And then when you have the truth, it grows because you can like weed out more truth. You can filter it. Does it? And this is the best part. If it matches the truth, oh, it's true. It has to match the equilibrium. You're set. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Like this right here is what I'm looking at going, why? I just got to teach you. I just got to teach you. So what you want to do is you literally want to start building a basic truth core. Your truth core starts with what is love. I'm going to tell you what love is. Love is growth. It's nourishing growth. So if you want to know what love is, look at all your past. This is going to hurt a lot of people, but the truth matters. Look at your past. If they nourished you with love, it's true. That's love. If you were not being nourished for growth, it's not love. That was disintegration. So look at all the times that you were happy. Look at all the times that you had nourishing growth. That leads you, that is love. So now you have a solid metric, nourishing growth. Did you grow during a certain time period? You need to know what growth looks like. Growth is when you were challenged and you learned. So growth is learning. So where were you learning the most? Where were you repeating your constant mistake over and over again? Where did you expand your mind and really go, oh, gee, shit needs to change? Because that's when you grow. If you are in a cycle and you're not making any advancements, you're not learning, you're not growing, you're disintegrating. You need to go do the complete opposite. Complete opposite. That's how you manage any kind of change. You got to do the complete opposite. If you are doing the same routine, you need radical change. Radical change is the cure to any kind of pattern that has you stuck. You have to change the pattern. And the reason why is because when you change the pattern, your subconscious mind immediately goes, oh shit, we got to wake up. We got a new formula and I don't have the calculation. We got to do math now. And your subconscious mind will wake up the rest of your brain and it will immediately put you into action to make you calculate something that you've never had before. So you've got to wake up your brain and literally flip a switch through radical change. So what is literally the opposite of everything you've ever done? You've got to do the opposite. Doing the opposite is only to wake up your subconscious mind. Once you do the opposite, go away phone. I do not want you on me. No, I do not like phones. So once you do the opposite, it immediately flips your brain over and your subconscious mind is forced to learn a new formula. When it learns a new formula, it immediately calculates a new algorithm, and that's when you learn. Once it learns, it can identify new problems. It adds the algorithm to its batch of learned algorithms. I have this in my head. It's a batch of learned algorithms for all of the formula living that I've got in my head. And then it calculates all of it, and now you've got a new algorithm. And the thing is, you want to keep adding algorithms. Now, the algorithms can be simplified. They can be added and expanded on. But there's an algorithm for everything. So once you have it all figured out, the next door opens up and then you've got the next trial. I need to do like a kindergarten math of doors, like a clue game. And you just keep going through it. All right, this is the room you're in. You got to solve the problem. And that's it. Oh my God, now that would be awesome. Word problem solution. Instead of reading about how Jimmy has 5 eggs and he's got to carry his 5 eggs across 72 meters across the parking lot with his car going 32 miles backwards. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? That's not a word problem. I'm going to tell you a word problem. A word problem is when you're in a room and you've got an escape room. And your escape room, oh, I'm going to do the escape room game. It's going to be the ethical board game. That's right. And you've got to do escape rooms, and you've got to escape at all the different levels. Oh, it's going to be amazing. And you've got to problem solve a certain algorithm in order to get the fuck out of the room. That's what you've got to do. Yes, I love this. I'm going to do a board game, The Ethics. All right. I'm going to wrap it up here. The moral of the story. I got to summarize with the moral of my story. The moral of the story is be fucking honest with yourself. Really, really learn self-honesty. Self-honesty has layers. Self-honesty is all about the layers, because you're going to be self-honest on this level, but you're going to peel that off and you're still lying to yourself. You got to peel that off too. Sometimes you're going to have to peel 10 or more layers just to get to your truth. And you're at the truth when you cry like a baby. That's when you're at the truth. It's when you start to realize that you're not afraid anymore. You find your truth when you have no fear. When you feel the fear, and then you strip it down naked, and then you go toe to toe with your fear. That is what you're really dealing with. Self-honesty is when you peel off all the lie layers, and that's it. It's all the lie layers coming off. You have a fear. What are you afraid of? And I'm going to tell you right now, whatever you answer, it's a lie. And this is it right here. It's either a lie or a distraction. Let me think about that for a minute. It's a clue. That's the word. It's either a clue or it's a distraction. You've got to figure out if you're giving yourself a clue or a distraction. If you say something random, that's a clue. If you say something strategic, that's a distraction. This is going to be weird, but the logic is actually the distraction, because that is your subconscious mind trying to use logic to red herring your ass, and it's working. The subconscious mind, when it talks random, it's going to be that one random out of the blue disconnected word, and that is your identity talking. Your identity is what gives you clues. Your identity throws something out there. You hear one word, it's random. And if you're trying to rationalize, that's bullshit. That's a distraction, because that's what your subconscious thinks. No, that's what your conscious awareness thinks is where the truth is. It's a distraction from your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind actually works against your conscious awareness. Yeah, you probably should know about this. I have a lot of material on this. Yet your subconscious mind partners up or works against your conscious awareness, because the subconscious mind does not want the conscious awareness to dig. Now, the identity is locked in the brig of the ship, and it's going, help me. So it will throw out random shit that seems to be coming out of left field. Always listen to the random shit. The subconscious mind uses logic. You know who doesn't use logic? The identity. She has no fucking logic in her at all. She's random. She's 5. She'll do shit. She's an inner child. So she's random. So she's the one who throws weird fucking shit out there at you. The subconscious mind knows better, but all the subconscious mind knows is logic. So the conscious awareness asks the question, and this is it right now. The subconscious mind has the quest. The subconscious mind will try rationalizing it with logic, distraction. It's the identity who will throw one random word out there. If you say the words, I don't know, oh, that's the subconscious mind. That's lying. It's bullshit. You know, the identity, like, and it's really getting, if you could say one word, what do you think it is? Whatever that one random word is, that's your identity going, this is the truth. Now you follow it. You grab that one clue, and then you take the clue from the identity, and then you reverse engineer it. So then you want to reverse engineer the clue. If you hear logical code just being built, oh, that's bullshit. That's your subconscious mind fucking around with your conscious awareness. You need to reverse engineer the clue that you get from your identity. That's going to lead it. Now, you're going to reverse engineer that clue, and that's one layer. Do it again. You might have to do this up to 10 times. You're going to reverse engineer the clue that your identity gives you up to 10 times until you get down to your naked, raw, vulnerable, exposed you-ness. And that's where your truth is. And when you get right down and you're looking for something to do with your parents, you are always looking for something to do with your parents. And as you reverse engineer that clue, you're actually going to be able to get logical comprehension all the way back. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this dude tells you all about this in here. Not really. I use logic to explain what he does in here. He uses no logic, but he's very logical. He just translates it for you. Why am I trying to translate this shit when it's already done for you? I mean, I can give you the science behind it, and I needed the science. I had to understand the why, and so I reverse engineered what he taught me. So yeah, I don't really have to translate anything because it's all right here. So this is it right here. This is what I'm actually doing with you right now, except I'm giving you the logic for it. I'm explaining to you the why, so your logical comprehension has the understanding to plug it in. He just tells you what to do. That was not good enough for me. I love you, Nathaniel. That was not good enough for me. I had to understand it. So I have a relationship with Nathaniel. It's like a 30-year-old relationship with Nathaniel. So it's like this is an old thing that he and I have. All right. So thank you so much. The moral of the story is self-honesty. To thine own self be true. Thank you. May the kindest of words always find you.